Hello everyone, welcome to today's stream. Welcome Alison, welcome. Finally back. Welcome. So let's see what we can do today. I have quite a lot on my task list. I want to show off a lot of Specter Gaming because I'm really enjoying Specter right now. Yes, here I am. Welcome. I hope you had a nice day. Mine was quite nice. Want to get some nice... Oh, that looks good. Some nice Specter Gaming going on. Yeah, can't complain. That's what you want to hear. Sometimes it doesn't work. It's really weird. Is it just my client? I don't know what's happening actually. Yeah, it's always good if you can't complain about your day because that means that it wasn't a bad day. And I can say the same. My day was quite good, quite productive. Welcome, Ottorish. Welcome. Thanks for the YouTube vids. Found them super helpful after starting playing again. Yeah, no problem. It was a comment from YouTube, by the way, if you were wondering. Wow. Thanks for the Prime. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Malison. Really appreciate it for your support. 2 months already. Really good. Why? It's so weird. Why can't I join this one? This one does work. Welcome, Filthy. Welcome. Are you healthy again? I hope. So let's see what we can do today. I have so much on my task list. I want to show off Specter, not only in PvE, but also in World vs. World. And I want to craft a legendary for my giveaway. Actually, I'm planning a big giveaway on YouTube. So I want to do a crafting the legendary as well for that. Or let's say, if you want to participate, it's on YouTube, and we will reach 5,000 subs quite soon, and I want to celebrate that milestone. And I'm currently having some kind of election voting going on. If you want to have one legendary giveaway, so one big ticket item that one of the subscribers will win, or if you want to have 4 smaller, let's say 500 gold giveaways, where your chances of winning are obviously 4 times higher, but you will get less money. So currently there is this voting going on. Be sure to participate if you want to change the outcome. I probably will need to leave for some time to be hospitalized because my health collapsed recently, unfortunately. Oh, sorry. That sounds bad. I'm so sorry, Filthy. Get well soon. Really, I hope so. Hopefully my stream can at least a little bit entertain you and maybe even distract you from your pain. I'm really sorry. So, Malison, this is actually healing DPS Specter. So I'm currently a little bit on the DPS healer trip, and this one is really nice. I will explain it soon. Yeah. So 6 Shots is asking for tips on Power Herald in PvP specifically. So Power Herald is a really weird spec. Power Herald, oh no, on this boss I can't play this DPS healer. That's grieving. We need a lot of healing for that one. What I wanted to mention is that Power Herald currently has a really strong build. You play with Spear and you play with Sword Shield and Retribution trade line, and it's extremely strong. This is really underrated how strong this build is. It's played by all the top level PvPers and everyone, and actually in the ranked and stuff. So the idea behind this is that you are really aggressive. You're playing really aggressive. Even after the nerfs to Spear, you are still extremely aggressive. So you always want to push extremely hard. But, and that's the important part here, you play a lot with Retribution. So Retribution gives you resolution, gives you a lot of dodge chance. Or not chance, dot vigor, but a lot of dodge capabilities. Yeah. So that means that you always have to be aware and dodge a lot. And because you're getting so much vigor and stuff and so much resolution and so much defensive stats just from dodging. So that means dodging is key. So that means always use dodges to not only help you survive, but also upkeep resolution, get a lot of damage out of that stuff. And that's how you survive. I can explain a little bit more later when I don't have to concentrate on not dying and not my party is instantly losing one player. Okay, I guess that's not my fault. But after that, I can explain it a little bit more. Just don't want to grieve my party here. Yeah, so this one is Scourge. And after this, we will definitely also go for some more Specter. I just wanted to show off some, yeah, heal Scourge for this fight. It's really good. You can't play an offensive healer in this fight because you will grieve your party with less heals. And this one is really heal intensive, so you really need to have a healer for this one. A complete healer, so to say. But after this fight, so after Bone Skinner, we will do the rest of the 5 strike missions. We will do Specter, don't worry. No, it's about Herald, and Herald is, I would say, currently probably the best pick for ranked. I have to be honest. If you can play it and if you like the playstyle of something fast-paced and power damage heavy, then this is the build for you, I would say, especially for ranked. But even in ATs, it's a very good pick. Reason for that is just you get so much defense from resolution and from your retribution trade line in general, while still having amazing DPS, even from range with the spear. It's absolutely insane, actually. I think we can't get it. Yeah, sad. No, Spectre has enough healing, that's true. That's not the case why I swapped. I wanted to play some Celestial Spectre, so I wanted to play some Spectre that's actually also doing damage. And of course, on this fight, you need a lot of heals, so I don't want to play a full healer. I don't want to play not a full healer for this fight. So that's the reason here. My party is dying, because why is this person here? It's actually insane. It's fine, we did it. And now we can swap back to Spectre and I can show off the Spectre. Yeah, Herald is really fun. I really like it. I wanted to make a build guide about it, but I just wanted to check out if the balance patch did change it, but not really. So I will do a patch, let's say a really good build guide about the Spear Herald for PvP that is not really affected by the nerfs to it. Yeah. Yeah, Herald is always quite the learning curve because it's really, you know, you have to know what you dodge. Because if you don't know what to dodge, then most of your defenses are actually gone. The dodge and your healing skill that's the only thing that is really keeping you alive. Everything else is just, yeah, it's there, but it's not really, I don't know. Yeah, it's really weird that you use on a power Herald, you use Spear. But the reason for that is that the power scaling on the Spear is actually really good. And it's a really fast-paced and aggressive weapon with the evade, with this CC. And you have some really nasty conditions on there with chill and stuff that is really annoying to actually, yeah, just to keep your targets close to you. And then you can hit them with the auto attack for stuff. It's really crazy. Yeah. Yeah, and of course you also have to weapon store to interrupt your elites and stuff. That's really important. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I really like that design that you have such a crazy cook with the spear on a power build. I think that's really fun that you can make that work because you see it's actually working really well. Yeah. Okay, so now about this build. This build is a healer. Yes, I'm playing as a Alacrity heal, but for not as healing intensive fights, for example, all Iceblood Saga strike missions except the Bone Skinner, I can play this build and I have decent amount of damage. Let's see how much I can pull off. Probably around maybe 15k or something, maybe 20k, depends a bit. And I'm still applying Alacrity, a lot of boons, stability, giving enough healing to survive for the party, giving a nice barrier. So overall, this is how you can play an aggressive healer. It's getting even better now with the blast on your 2 skill. That's with the latest balance patch was added. And that's incredible because the blast finisher now allows you to not only, for example, blast the water field to heal, but also you can run Caracosa Relic, which baseline just heals a lot That's insane how much that heals actually. So you have very good amount of healing in the kit, just with the blast finishes in there. Welcome, Echo Fox, welcome. But let's see if I can sell it to you by showcasing how good it is, because it's always important that I not only talk about it, but also showcase why it's actually so strong. I try my best here, but I'm not the best Spectre yet. I'm still learning a bit. Yeah. That sounds like a good thing. Very good. Welcome, Winslow. Oh, I missed some quickness here, but it's fine. Just stay a little bit in Shroud, because spam your skills to get actually some alacrity to a party, and then you are fine, and you can actually try to give some barrier and whatever to your group. It's really, really good. Can get some nice healing out, some damage out, and then we go back into Shroud. It's quite easy for the most part. We have to be a little bit careful, because we don't want to get stripped of all our Shroud when we go in the other realm here. And yeah, very nice. Yes, after the patch, Spectre and Herald are really, really fun to play, I would say. I mean, Herald was actually quite good before the patch as well. It was not really a bad pick. It was actually quite strong already. But after the patch, I think a lot of classes, for example, Untamed and stuff, got nerfed. And Herald is actually still very, very good because of that. So we can do this and give some barrier. And apply some healing. Nice, I actually got the teleport on the group. Nice, nice, nice. To be a bit careful here. Sounds good. I mean, it's Winslow, I can see why you would do that, but I feel like Guild Wars 2 in the end game is probably about getting multiple characters. I think that's just how you play Guild Wars 2, because there are so many things that you can go for that are actually working on. Oh, come on. They are standing perfectly in the middle of the boss. That you can go for that are actually worth it for multiple characters. So if you go, for example, for Legendary Spear, you can use it on any character, which is obviously really, really good. And this is something that obviously is very helpful for veterans that want to play multiple characters like me, multiple classes and stuff. Wow, that instantly kicked me out of Shroud. It's actually insane. I don't know, my party is actually dying left and right here. I don't even know why. It seems like the chains are actually completely killing them. Crazy. I will catch up on chat after this boss. I just don't want to waste another minute here. Longer than we have to. It's actually 4 people already dead. I'm not sure if we can actually do this boss if another one dies. I don't have enough DPS for that. Okay, we have 2 healers. I guess we should be fine if they are not standing inside the hitbox anymore. I mean, if they're all spread, it's obviously not a very good thing for me to play here, Spectre, but I guess it's fine. Okay. Yeah, I think Guild Wars 2 is always about play the class that you like, and if you have, let's say, multiple options, I think Guild Wars 2 will be more enjoyable for you in the long run, but it's not like you have to play multiple classes. If you enjoy Guardian so much that you can play it for 10 years, I guess that's fine, you know, you don't have to switch around. Yeah, if they spread so much, I can't give them alacrity permanently. That's just not how it works. Yeah, just kill it now. It's fine, I guess. Come on. There we go. Insane. Whisper in 2025 and people still die to it. It's actually crazy. Playing alts has really increased my charming guild was 2 and helps for PvE stuff, as I now have quick DPS and other options to swap to, and for PvP just keep things fresh, always learning. Yeah, exactly. That's my understanding of the game as well. But it's always, you know, not everyone is the same. Some people enjoy to have one character and play it forever. I think that's fair too. In my opinion, it's just I enjoy Guild Wars 2 so much by playing a different character, different build all the time, just to keep things fresh. If I play, let's say, only 3 characters, I might get bored because I'm too acknowledged with them already. But if I swap around with all 9 classes, I actually don't have that problem. Yeah. So is Celestial Gear with damage runes and sigils? Yes, exactly. I run Black Doctor, which should have the same amount of heal power and boon duration. Yes, Black Doctor is a very good stat as well. Overall, you get, of course, more stats when you run Celestial with Trapper Rune, but Black Doctor is a very good alternative as well. It's just, I would say, the superior option for Heal Specter is probably full Celestial. If you go full healer, you would go Harrier. That's the... Black Doctor is something that you can run. I am not sure if it's perfectly optimal, but it's only slightly worse than Celestial, I would say. Yeah, of course, if you start learning Power Herald, it's also something that I would say is enough of your time to be, let's say, learning. You don't need another class to learn at the same time, but it's definitely something that is worth doing. I think Power Herald right now is one of the best builds to play in PvP, as I just said, and I think it's very fun to learn a class that is really strong, because that means that if you can perform on it, you will actually get quite high in the rating, and you will have even more fun then, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, Vindicator is also weird. I think Vindicator is not that easy to learn. And after the patch, it's actually also very good in PvE as well. Yeah. Tell me about Bone Skinner. Not so long ago, we had Druid in our squad. After 6 fails, he just left and we did it. Dude wasn't even using spirits to revive people when they got down, despite me telling him to get spirit to rescue people. Yeah, it's actually insane. People just don't know how to switch stuff. I mean, it's... Oh, come on. People leave left and right and don't know what they're doing. I think Iceblood Saga strike missions are really hit and miss. It's really sad, actually. Especially if you play the healer on Bone Skinner, you should at least know how to press your buttons and which buttons you should actually use. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it, Malison, in my how easy is a class tier list. And Elementalist is actually, it has a lot of buttons and therefore it might seem hard. And I would say a lot of new people would agree with that. But if you're a veteran, I would say the more buttons you have doesn't really matter if the rotation is, for example, somewhat simple. So I would say, for example, a Condition Willbender build is harder to play than, for example, a Fresh Air Tempest. Yes, Elementalist has more buttons, but the Willbender is more fast-paced because the buttons come off cooldown way faster. So it's a little bit, you have to think about stuff in a bigger scenario. That's obviously a very... I like Willbender too, but if you play Condi Willbender, to get actually the highest benchmark that you can get, it's way harder than on Elementalist. Even though you have way more buttons on Elementalist. It's always a little bit like, you have to understand how the whole thing plays to actually make this statement. But I would totally agree. Just if you start the game, you don't know anything about builds and meta builds, then of course Elementalist has the most buttons to press and it's the hardest. But if you get in the end game and you actually want to play raids and stuff, I wouldn't say Elementalist is the hardest class to play. Yeah. Power Willbender is really strong for roaming, for PvP, but in PvE, Condi Willbender I think is not something that is very easy to play. It's quite easy to get into, but to master it, to actually get high DPS numbers, it's actually not that easy. Oh, come on, guys. I mean, it's a very try-hard pick. Not a lot of people actually pick that in a lot of situations because it's not that easy to play. But I would say it's very rewarding if you can perform on it. Yeah, if you can actually make it work and you actually have a decent amount of support in your party, then it's a very strong DPS build. It's very strong, especially in CM fractals and stuff, and in raid fights, it can be really strong. Yeah. Dodge. Look at the barrier output, it's actually insane. My subgroup has full barrier. Even though I'm Celestial. Giving stability. Very nice. There we go. Yeah, I will show you some World vs. World Specter, because after the buffs I actually think Specter is quite decent in World vs. World Auto-Risk, so maybe that's an alternative for you. But Deadeye, I would say, is not as strong anymore after the nerfs, especially in World vs. World. It got hit quite hard. It's still playable, I would say, but it's definitely not as good as it once was. Yeah, Power Willbender is really strong. It's not too hard to learn, but it got nerfed. It's not as broken anymore. Yeah, it's definitely not, I would say, overpowered anymore. I think it's a very good pick. It's very strong still, but it's not as broken as it was when Spear came out and Willbender was just everywhere and absolutely busted, I would say. Yeah. What would you say is the easiest profession to master? As in 90 to 95% benchmark plus learning when to use what skills and traits. To be honest, I would say that's probably that sounds like a weird thing to say, but the easiest class to master, or spec or build even to master, is probably some kind of DPS elementalist. Let's say DPS Tempest or something like that. The reason for that is typically DPS builds on elementalist don't have any flexibility in the utility slots. There is no good utility to run. There are 3 that gives you DPS and that's it. And that means that you will in the end run always the same, how's it called? The same utility skills. You can't swap around at all. It's always elementalist. You pick the same 3 all the time. And if you know that you go to air, then you go to fire, and then you go to earth, and then you go back to air or something like that, that's the rotation. So that's really interesting that elementalist, even though it has a lot of skills potentially in the kit, is actually one of the easier classes to play perfectly. If it comes to DPS, I would say. All the other specs, even Warrior, I would say, has more options when it comes to what utility skills and stuff it can swap around if you want to help your group a lot. It's actually harder to learn in that sense. Sounds weird, yes, I know. But for me, that's how I would go to it. When it just comes to the benchmark, how to reach the benchmark number, I would probably say something like maybe Condi Virtuoso or something like that is really easy to learn. Just because it doesn't have a lot of, you see all your skills almost all the time, and it's not really insane how hard it is to play for the most part, because most of the skills are actually just spam them and then you will get to the number. So I think this is a very easy build to learn, to get to the benchmark at least. What else can you learn? I'm not completely sure about. It's really hard for me to see, because for me, most of the time when I get to learn a build, I reach 80% of the benchmark in the first try or something, because I understand the class. I played Guild Wars 2 so much, it's always like that. And so it's really hard for me to see, okay, for a new player that might be completely different. Maybe they need 10 tries already for 80%, yeah. And for most cases, 80% is definitely good. So don't always say, oh, I don't reach the benchmark of 90, 95% and I can't play it then. That's not the case. You should be fine when you are about, let's say, 80 to 85% is mostly okay, actually. Of course, if you really want to master a class, it's different. But like I said, some classes are really hard to master. For example, Condi Mirage, maybe even Condi Willbender, those are quite hard to master. But like, let's say, Condi Virtuoso, Condi Scourge, maybe even some kind of Power Tempest with Scepter, it's actually not that hard to get to a high number, yeah. Which one used the double dagger? Double dagger. I'm not completely sure which one you mean. Do you consider Heal Firebrand to be the hardest support to pick? Yes, I think Heal Firebrand is one of the hardest supports because it's quite spammy and you still have to do that. If you don't spam your attacks, you will actually miss and you will also have to reposition. So I think it's really... a support has to be reactive in a lot of cases, and if it's already spammy and then you have to react to special scenarios like some kind of mechanic phase or something in raids, it gets really hard and really convoluted. So I would say for that matter, I would say Heal Firebrand is actually not that easy to learn. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The Weaver build in World vs. World is very straightforward, you know, you just spam your damage skills and that's it. You don't have to swap around a lot of stuff. You can always play it. It's quite straightforward. Even though you have 20 weapon skills or even more with Weaver, it's not really important. You don't need to know every 20 of them. You can play 7 of them or something and you will be completely fine. So it's really interesting, and it's not a lot of people actually understand that, let's say, dilemma of Weaver and all Elementalist specs, that it's all about damage and not all the skills do damage, so you don't have to understand all of them. It's really weird, but that's just how it is. Some nice barrier. Yeah, see you, Echo Fox, have fun raiding. What's the easiest support? Oh, that's really hard. Do you mean the easiest support in terms of how easy it is to actually get into supporting allies, or how easy it is to master? Because that's a very different thing for most parts. If I would say to get into it, I would say probably Heal Scourge, something like that would be probably fine. But if you want to master it, I don't know, all of them can be quite challenging. That's the sad truth, yeah. Nice, that was fast, Malison. Exactly, Dagger Catalyst is also very strong right now. It's probably the best side noder right now in PvP. So I think that's the same thing. I wouldn't say Elementalist is hard because you have builds that are actually quite nice. Yeah. So we have a question from YouTube. Need a new class to play, any recommendations? So I have a video actually about every single class and showcasing it, but you should always go for the class that you enjoy the most. So which kind of fantasy you like, which kind of playstyle you like, if you like melee, if you like playing a DPS, like playing a healer. Some classes have some preferences in that regard. So inform you about that and then to meet your, let's say, class and try it out. Maybe go into PvP and try it out there. But I would say always play a class that you enjoy, because every single class is playable in every single game mode. So you don't need to say, okay, Thief is currently not meta, I don't pick it. That's not how you should do it, because the meta will change at some point and every single class is viable. So it's not about only playing one class. It's always spot to the class that you enjoy. That's how you should do it. Which Revenant DPS build is good at the moment? So for PvE, it's currently probably only Condi Renegade, which is quite good, but it's a Condi build and therefore not the best for Fractals, for example. Or you play, the only other option would be Power Vindicator. Power Vindicator after the patch is actually quite good. It's a fully melee build without any CC and stuff in the kit, so it's very aggressive, very selfish, but it fills the role very good, so very well. So I would say go for that one if you like power DPS. Yeah, I would say it's probably in World vs. World, it's probably Heal Firebrand the best support that you want to get, and in PvE I would say it's probably Druid. If you play raids, it's Druids. If you play Fractal, it's Heal Firebrand or Chrono. Overall, I would say Chrono is probably the medium ground. It's not too hard to get into and very nice to master. But Druid might be a little bit more useful in some mechanics, heavy fights in raids, for example, because you can push very easily and that kind of stuff. I don't know. Is Scourge still the best heal support in Fractals? No, I wouldn't say Scourge is that good. I think Scourge lacks stability access. You would rather have a Chronomancer or a really good Heal Firebrand. Those two are the best supports, I would imagine. It's a little bit difficult to say, because if you have a bad Heal Firebrand, it's not good, then you would rather have a Scourge. But if you have a good heal firebrand, you should definitely go for the heal firebrand. And Chronomancer is probably a little bit easier. That's why typically you will have a better time when you have a mediocre Chronomancer player, because they will do their job anyway. The heal firebrand will probably not do their job. So yeah, firebrand is the best. Yeah, it has been like that for the last 6 years or something. So yeah, nothing changed there, I would say. How do you get better at support? Do you just know your rotation and jump into content? Yeah, that's probably what you should do. You should start understanding every single skill that you have, so that is probably a very good tip for every single new build that you learn. You should always look at your skills, what they do, and how you would expect them to function. So for example, if this skill is used on an ally, I teleport to them and then I can use the next attack to actually do something. Always read the skill description, even if it's like this, the whole page long. Yeah. And then if you understand your rotation, your skills, for the most part, then you start out with something easy. Yeah. With something that's actually helping your understanding of the class. So you start something like Icebrood Saga 5 strike missions or something like that, and then you slowly but surely increase the difficulty, and you will get more accustomed to the build while increasing also your usefulness for the group. Because if you start, for example, with Icebrood Construct or something where you don't have any counter pressure, you can easily learn a build. Yeah. But if you go for Bone Skinner, or let's say even a raid boss like Kadim 2 or Kadim 1 first, where you need really good understanding of the mechanics and the class that you play, then I would say it's not something that I would recommend you doing. But at some point you will get there, just slowly increasing the difficulty. That's how I would do it, and I think that worked quite well for myself. Yeah. Of course, if you understand a boss really well, then you can go a little bit faster. If you are new to a fight at any class, then it's a little bit harder to get into it, then you should start slower. But that's my rotation, so to say, on how to learning a class and a build. It's really sad that you can't skip this cutscene, actually. I mean, you can somewhat negate it, but you can't skip it. So I guess after that we will go for some legendary crafting. Like I said, I will do a legendary giveaway on my YouTube channel when I reach 5k subs. And I'm currently actually having a vote going for all the people that are interested in joining this giveaway, if I should give away a full legendary to one single person, or if I should split it in, let's say, 4 times 500 gold, and 4 people will win, but less money, of course. So if you want to participate in that vote, be sure to check out my YouTube channel. Link is in the Twitch description, or if you're already on YouTube, of course, you can see it in the post section. A question from YouTube. I'm curious why Harry has the best full healer set for Specter. Doesn't have Condi damage for Rot Hollow Vellum or Vitality for Shroud Scaling. Is the power DPS just that much better? Not really. It's just you want to have boon duration, you want to have healing power, and of course you can go for some kind of Condi in there, but sadly there is the optimal stat would be something like condition damage, healing power, and concentration, but that just doesn't exist. The best option is Plague Doctor or Celestial. Currently I'm playing Celestial for Spectre, and you see it's very good. I have 10k DPS while still fully healing my party and giving permanent boons. So it's about, you have to make some sacrifices because the perfect gear set doesn't exist. And Harriers is just the best option for the most part, because you, in a lot of fights in raids, for example, you actually have tanking mechanics, and you don't want to run Celestial for that part if you don't want to be the tank, if that makes sense. But it's not really something that you can generally say, okay, Harrier is always the best. There are giver stats, there are probably Magi's, and you always have to mix and match on a healer depending on what kind of situation you face. It's a little bit sad for a new player. You can't really say always take this one. You will be good to go for the most part if you place Harrier, but most builds actually are min-maxed a little bit more. So if you want to tank, you go for Giver. If you want to go really try hard tank, you go for full Giver. If you want to go for some more DPS, you go for Celestia or Black Doctor. So it's always a bit you have to switch around if you want to be a really good healer. You not always play the same gear set. That's just the sad truth here. Yeah, glad you like it, DC. Glad you like it. But healers in Guild Wars 2 are not only the most, let's say, difficult thing to learn, in my opinion, or to master, because you have the most roles that you cover. You not only heal in Guild Wars 2, you also apply a lot of boons. In raids and strike missions, you typically also do all the mechanics that you can do. So it's more about you have so much stuff that is on your mind while you still need to heal. That's hard to get into. And then I would say you also have the most impact. Because, for example, if you're quickness DPS, you have healing. You don't have to care about healing. You just do DPS and you do apply quickness. But on a healer, you have to heal. You have to apply quickness. You have to apply all the other boons as well. You have to do the mechanics. You have to not only keep your allies alive, but maybe also deny attacks with projectile blocks and that kind of stuff. So healing in Guild Wars 2 is so important, so overpowered also. So the quickness, for example, gives a 50% DPS buff to all your party members. It's insane. So if you can upkeep that permanently while being the healer, while being the support in terms of healing and dealing some DPS with Celestia, for example, it's actually crazy. It's crazy what you all can cover. Yeah, 50% on Alacrity, it's a little bit more hidden, but on quickness, you get 50% cast time decrease, so your casts are 50% faster. Means in total you get 50% more attacks off, means you get a 50% DPS increase. Alacrity is a little bit more hidden because Alacrity gives you 25% cooldown reduction if you're not a Chronomancer. So that means it should be something around like a 25% DPS increase. But it also gives you your defensive cooldowns back faster. So in that sense, it's helpful in the defensive way as well. And don't forget, your most damaging skills will come off cooldown faster as well. So that means you don't have to spend time in stuff that you don't want to be in because the DPS is lower. So your whole rotation alters if you have Alacrity or if you don't have it. So it's Guild Wars 2 is really weirdly balanced that quickness and Alacrity are so overpowered that your supports are actually insane. The value of a support is crazy. So if you can perform on a support, you should do that because you carry your group way harder than if you go for a DPS and you do 5k more DPS than the rest of your party. That's not helping that much. If you're on a support and you can upkeep quickness 100%, whereas the alternative would only upkeep it 50%, you are helping your group, so to say, by 25% more DPS. It's insane. Yeah. So that's always what you have to keep in mind when it comes to that. It's of course quite technical in this argument, but it's still true. It still holds true in that sense. Yeah. Yes, Harbinger has quickness access. Harbinger is one of the most aggressive quickness providers because you can't really play some healing Harbinger. That's not really the thing. You can play some really hard-hitting power or Condi Harbinger. It's a little bit harder to play in that sense because your quickness access is only pulsing around you and you can't really apply any other boons. It's just quickness for the most part. So you always have to be aware when you are going in Shroud and your party is actually really necessary to be near you when you are in the Shroud. Otherwise you don't apply any quickness. But it works really well in Fractals and stuff. It's a really good one. In Fractal CMs, for example, it's extremely strong. One of the best, if not the best quickness DPS. And yeah, I think if you can master it, it's crazy. It's really good. We have a full inventory. Let's clean it. And then let's check what we want to do next. Yeah, I mean, gearing Specter is a little bit different because it depends what game mode you were playing, what kind of, let's say, role you want to fill. But for the most part, Specter is very worthwhile. Be sure to do it. Specter is very fun to play. Yeah, fractals are really fun. I think, especially if you play something that is fast-paced, like a Quickness Harbinger, I think you will have a lot of fun playing fractals. If you played them before, you will have a very fun time ahead of you, just because it's something completely new, and that's really cool. But if you are new to the game, I wouldn't recommend to play Quickness Harbinger and fractals. It's too squishy, too gimmicky in that sense, because you have to keep track of so many things while doing DPS. It's a little bit too hard. But for a veteran that has experience in fractals and is not completely overwhelmed, it's definitely something that you should try out, I would say. That's always, you should always look for something that is actually, yeah, something interesting, something new. Because if you're a veteran and always look for the old stuff, then you will get bored at some point. But if you always look for something new, like, let's say, 6 shots with the PvP Herald, then you have something that is actually keeping you in the game. So we want to go here. Going from quick DPS pistol thief to quick DPS power herald has me playing a lot more attention. Yeah, and that's the interesting part. Pistol thief is obviously really easy. Quickness DPS herald is not that easy, but it's still not one of the hardest DPS or quickness DPS builds. But there is a big gap already, yeah. And if you go, for example, for quickness harbinger, you will have even another gap like that, but in the more difficult direction. That doesn't mean that quick DPS Herald is bad, not at all. It's actually a really good pick. Just saying that you can make even more steps in the more difficult direction. And that is, so to say, a big problem in Guild Wars 2, that the difficulty curve is actually for some builds so high that people are not performing at all on it. While you have something that is almost doing quickness by itself if you play quick DPS pistol Deadeye. It's actually crazy that there is so much difference, yeah. I have never seen that many groups in Strike LFE. I'm an A&O. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. It's obviously prime time on EU, so maybe that's the case here. But it's quite a lot. Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't say it's uncommon, but it's also not always the case. Sometimes in the, let's say, not that prime time, then you have not that many groups either. No, I can. There we go. And I wanted to buy those. Can you do a guide on Deadeye rival DPS? Yes, I'm working on it. I'm currently have my to-do list is, I don't know, it's so long. I don't know what to put my stuff in, where to put my stuff anymore. But it's on the list. Don't worry, it will come out somewhat soon. I have so many things that I want to do stuff on, so don't worry, it will come out. Yeah. Need practice so I don't kill myself using Harbinger. Yes, you should always start practicing stuff and you will be fine at some point. Just keep your mindset like you want to improve, you want to start getting better and stuff, and don't, let's say, be sad about it if it doesn't work the first time. Just wait a bit and it will work at some point. I was looking at making a Reaper, so maybe Necro will be my next class after I get Herald Master. Yeah, Reaper is really interesting. Reaper is not providing quickness or alacrity to your party, but it's still a very good pick in PvP, World versus World, PvE for DPS. It's a very good pick. It's even a very good solo build as well. It's crazy. So it's a very good pick if you already play quickness builds. You can go for Herald, for Reaper rather, as a very nice option for just having a DPS if the party needs it. So yeah, very nice. Hey, do you know what the best glyph is to select for the infinite gathering tools? Can select 3, I'm not sure which to take. So my answer would be the best for money is volatile glyph. If you want to go for the fastest one, it's the reaping glyph. That is really nice if you go, for example, for some kind of flax seed gathering, or going for some kind of everything that has a very high amount of density in a specific spot of gathering. Reaping is really good. Glyph of Industry can be really good if you want to go for fast gathering stuff. For the most part, I would say the most optional one is the most, let's say, best in slot one is probably Volatile. Yeah, Volatile is the most lucrative one because it will give with every swing, it will give you Volatile Magic that you then can convert in, where is it? You can convert it in tier 6 mats, for example, and those you can sell and you just get gold out of it. Yeah. Yes, the Unbound one can be also quite nice. So don't worry. If you have, for example, the Unbound one, it can also be quite nice. It's not as profitable as the Volatile one, but the Unbound one can help you getting, like 6 shots mentions, trinkets. Ascended trinkets are really easy to farm in the Living World Season 3 maps. So that would be Bloodstone Fen, Ember Bay, Bitter Frost Frontier, Lake Dorek, Draconis Mons, and Siren's Landing. You need Unbound Magic for those. If you have that on your gardening tool, you get it very fast. But I would say for the most part, you can actually get those very fast as well if you just consume your materials. Where is it? That you get from this map. So the blood rubies and that kind of stuff. You get a lot of Unbound Magic here as well. So for example, for the Winterberry farm, you can use the Industry Cliff as well. And you will be faster and get more Unbound Magic in the same amount of time if you do that. But typically it's about Volatile Magic to get more gold. Yeah. I've been using Herald videos as a reference, even though I know that the patch kind of changed things a bit. It's funny using different builds for SPVP and World vs. World, Sword, Staff versus Spear, Sword, Shield, and Devastation, Retribution. Yeah, it's really cool. I think a lot of those builds are actually viable, but I think in PvP it's currently the Spear one with Sword, Shield that is absolutely broken with Retribution. In PvE, I would say Herald is not as good anymore, but in World vs. World as a roamer, you can even play Sword if you really wanted to. But typically it's a really fun build. The Retribution is absolutely broken currently for Herald, so it's really, really crazy good. Okay, so you wanted to do some Specter roaming. Let's see if we can get that actually going. Yeah, I probably would agree with that 6 shots. I would probably, because Spear is so broken, even after the nerfs, I would probably say yes, I would go for Spear and Sword Shield. I think that's the most optimal setup just for any Herald that wants to play DPS. In World vs. World, I feel like if you run, for example, a really aggressive setup, you could go with Sword, I would say, if you really want to burst someone down because you have so much DPS. But I think Spear is still better, to be honest. And Sword Shield, yeah, I agree. Yeah, exactly. The Shadow Step and just the amount of damage that you have with Sword is in World vs. World with the high amount of damage that you have just because you have Ascended Gear, for example, and have more access to different gear stats like Marauder and stuff that you can't really use in PvP, then yeah, it's definitely absolutely insane with the amount of burst damage that Revenant, the Power Revenant or other, has. So typically, I would say there it's the most likely that you will run Sword, but it's not absolutely necessary. I think actually even there a Spear and a Sword Shield combo might still be worthwhile to run. Yeah, it's a little bit dependent on your playstyle. If you want to go in outnumbered situations, I think the Spear is definitely superior because you have just more tankiness backed into the kit or more range pressure. But if you want to burst someone in a 101 or something like that, then I would say probably Sword will be fine. Yeah. But you can use Longbow as well? No, sadly not. You want to DH for Zerg, a Spear, Greatsword? Yes, I think for Zerg play, you want to have exactly that. But for... I mean, Longbow can... It depends a bit on what kind of Zerg you're playing. So if you're in an organized Zerg, where you really have, for example, stability permanently, you always go in melee and stuff, then I would say it's actually very worthwhile to run Spear and Greatsword just for the most amount of melee damage and cleave. But if you have a not so organized squad, sometimes the range pressure from Longbow and the caging and stuff can be really helpful too. So it's a little bit dependent on what kind of squad you're in or you're playing with. But I would say Longbow is still a valid pick for the most part, yeah. Yeah, exactly. You have the burst and the evade on Sword 3 on Revenant. I would say it's a nice overall setup. And the shield is I would say in World vs. World, especially where you need to have a fast play style with the blockable route and stuff, might not be actually the best option. So I think sword, maybe with spear, is a good middle ground, maybe. Yeah. They buffed longbow a while ago, and it's absolutely broken. In PvE, it's a very, very strong pick. It has 43k with a lot of range as well in there. So it's a really good pick there. For all other things. Is this guy AFK? No, doesn't look like it. Nice, we get a 1-on-1 here. Let me concentrate first for a second. I mean, I should win this, I guess. It's a power reaper, actually. Interesting. What? How did that hit me? Because of the slow? How did that hit me? I actually didn't see that one. What? That's actually crazy. I died because I think it was my own slow that killed me there. I dodged the elite, but it was slowed, so I got hit anyway. Crazy. Outplayed myself. Thanks for the Prime follower. Really, really nice. Really appreciate it. I will keep up my good work. I try at least. I might even try to improve. Yeah, let's see how it goes. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. Sword, spear in World vs. World roaming power herald. Yes, I think that's actually... I think that would be my choice if you want to be more aggressive. I think the shield in World vs. World is a little bit worse because you will be rooted in place in a fast-paced mobile game mode where you actually can run around a lot, and the mobility to chase targets down, to teleport, for example, look, if I get engaged on, I can teleport on this spear. Yeah, that's something that you can do with the Sword 5 as well, and that can save your life. If you have the shield, you will be rooted in place. Yes, you will be blocking stuff for the next 2 seconds or something. Yeah, but after that you might still die. If you have teleport out with the sword, you will maybe escape, and that will be better. Yeah, this is actually insane. Just keep that in mind, that sometimes a teleport in World vs. World is way more helpful than having something that is actually more defensive in a vacuum, I would say. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to show something different on stream, Filthy. Don't worry, I'm not joining Deadeye or Daredevil. I wanted to show off some Specter Gaming. Because after the recent buffs to Specter, it's actually a very good pick. I should also run the correct food, I guess. Yeah, the chill elite is really good. The chill to the bone is really good. It's one of the best elites in the game, I would say. You have a 4-second stun in PvP and World vs. World if you can actually land the melee stun. It's actually insane. It's the highest stun that you can get, actually. It's really, really good. What sigils for weapons on sword, spear? So you would probably, in my situation, what I would do, I would run cleansing and energy. 1 on the sword, 1 on the spear. So let's say energy on the spear, cleansing on the sword. And then you would go, for example, for air or force sigil on the sword, on the other sword. And on the spear, I would probably go for something like maybe generosity if you want to get some more cleansing going. Or hydromancy if you want to get some more burst damage going. Yeah, hydromancy is probably the way to go, I would say. Yeah. Because it's just another damage proc that you can get is maybe helping you to burst down a target. I think this is the option. But I would always not run energy or double cleansing, because you can proc the energy from running with, let's say, swapping legends, and then you will get the weapon swap prop, and then you go to the other sigils that are not off cooldown, and you will get it from the weapon swap, from the actual weapon swap. So that's really nice. So you should always have different sigils because of that. That's the guy again. This time I'm ready. What? How did they CC me? How did that hit me? It's actually insane. This guy is cheating so hard. No, he's not, but he's actually hitting all the CC. Have to concentrate here to not lose this matchup. The slow, why is it actually... Oh, he's transferring it to me. That's annoying. Ooh, he went out of Shroud. That's interesting. Again! My own slow kills me every time. Ugh. I have to dodge the spear. Oh, I didn't dodge it. Oh, he got me. I said it actually. It's actually insane. Every time I die to my own slow. I would have killed him every time because I dodged the elite and I kill him afterwards. No, I dodged the elite. It was slowed, and exactly when I land, the attack still hits me. Oh no, so sad. Water runes are decent. Yeah, I would say water runes are very decent. I think most of the time you want to run some other runes. It's not always water that you want to run, but runes are not that important for the most part. Yeah. But since you play Thief, I'll ask anyway, did you saw those series of movies on YouTube, Mortal Kombat Universe? I actually don't saw it. I didn't see it. What's it about? Yeah, I mean, it was obviously, this matchup is really hard for me because he has so much Shroud. He has so much range pressure as well with the spear and the sword. So I really can't play it really aggressively. I don't know why the clans he probably plays Death Magic. I'm not sure. Probably maybe Blood. I don't know. They have a lot of cleanses as well, so it's not really. Monk is probably the better choice. Yes, Malison, that's it. Yeah. I really want to keep this going. And learn a bit more Specter for World vs. World because I feel like it's a really good pick. If you can play it, it's after the buffs, it's a really nice roamer. It's not as broken as other roamers that I play typically, like Herald, like even some weird Chronomancer builds that I just released a video about it today. All that stuff, but it's really fun. I like it. It's not the typical Thief that is really broken and always stealthing. It's very honest, I would say, a very honest build. Yeah. And I'm really bad at it. That's the problem. Short movies showcasing a little backstory of a few Mortal Kombat characters. Ah, okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Maybe I have to give it a look and check it out. Thanks for recommending it. Let's see. I think Sword on Reaper, the thing is, it's actually, the damage is not that high, but the damage is really consistent. That's the thing here. And consistent damage in a 1-on-1 that takes almost 5 minutes or something like I just had, that wins you. the 101 because it's consistent, you know. If I have a skill that, like, for example, my Lassano strike here, that deals heavy damage, but I can't keep it consistently on the target because it's moving, because I don't have enough initiative, it's not winning me the fight. Stuff like my Scepter auto take, like my Shroud auto take and stuff that are consistently hitting the enemy from range, that's winning me the matchup. So the sword actually carried this Reaper here forever, because every single skill from the short casts and stuff, I was not able to dodge, or not all the time at least, and I was just dying to it over time because I did not have enough range pressure to actually keep it up with the DPS from sword. I think sword is a really interesting weapon design. It's really, really good. It's not only mobility, but also very nice range damage. So it's actually crazy how good sword is for Necromancer, in all game modes for that matter. And also on a lot of builds you can play it on Connie build, you can play it on a support build, you can play it on a power build, of course. It's actually crazy how much versatility just one weapon can have. Okay, you were a big fan. Okay. I needed to say thanks too for the Mechanist build you posted. It's so much fun. Yeah, it's really good. I waited for that actually before the patch released. I was already, you know, so excited to make a video about it because I knew a lot of people will enjoy it. And it's a build that is, you know, that was there when Mechanist came out and they then nerfed it to the ground. And now it's back, and I knew a lot of people would like to see something like that. So I'm really happy that it was actually the case then, and I could actually make a video about it really soon after the patch release. So really happy about it, yeah. Glad you see it the same, yeah, the same way. But as always, if you have any feedback, any videos that you want to see, anything that is somewhat not covered by other content creators, please let me know. I'm always open for suggestions, you know. I'm not the most imaginative person, so it might be that I don't have, you know, the cool ideas that you have. So if you have something that is on your mind that you think that might make a good YouTube video, please let me know. I'm always open for that. Yeah, PvP, it's interesting. So we have a comment here that staff is not that common anymore. It's more sword. And from YouTube, the thing here is, okay, we get a nice 101. Ooh, that's an interesting one. I'm not sure if I can win this actually. That's one of the best builds to play right now. What is this? Fresh air catalyst? That's a cook, I have to be honest. Okay, never mind. I mean, Catalyst is just too strong. I can't win those, I guess. I haven't got a clue what I want to see. I know so little, I feel lots to learn. I mean, that's good. I mean, it's always better to have a lot to learn than to be bored because you don't know what to do in the game anymore. So, but I was saying, Staff is really good on a Condi build for Necromancer and PvP. But on power builds, I think Staff loses a lot of value because it's actually only used for the Condi cleanse and for the Fear. And swords just give you more mobility, and that's something that power builds especially, but Necromancer in general, has a lot of problems actually getting access to. And if you have swords, you get a lot of mobility while still having access to a ranged Fear. So typically you just lose the Condi cleanse a bit, which is not a big deal for the most part. So yeah, I would say it's definitely something that is worth running. Yeah, that's why a lot of people do it. I have a Reaper build I made for using chills and shouts with Reaper Relic. It's quite nice. If I can put it on skills, I can send it for you for refill. Yeah, sure. But it sounds so surprisingly like the meta Condi Reaper build. It's one of my favorite builds that I currently also play a lot in PvP rather. It's really strong. You have just a lot of shouts, a lot of chill application. It's really, really good. Yeah, definitely, definitely. But you can still send it to me, Malison, don't worry. Yeah, Sword is definitely a game changer. I think that's one of the biggest buffs they ever gave to Necromancer, because Necromancer was always designed to be something like this. Very slow, high DPS, but very important that you position correctly. But with swords, you get the option to actually play aggressively, and if you, let's say, are in the wrong position, you can reposition because you have the mobility to do so. So it was definitely something that completely changed how Necromancer can play, and especially on, for example, something like Harbinger, where you have to be in the face of the enemy. With Spear, I mean, you typically have really, really good option with Sword to actually reposition or to get in the face of the enemy. It's really, really good. I actually tried the meta next to mine and it's standing up to it. Okay, sounds good. Sounds very good. I'm always up for some theory crafting, yeah. The level of our team domination world versus world in this matchup is weird. Our team often slacks to do anything. Yeah, it's crazy. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. This time we win, actually. It looks like we just win all the time in this one. Thanks for the follow, by the way, Ottorish. Really appreciate it. I tried Core Conny Necro, felt a bit unimpactful. Is the class mainly built around the fear procs? Exactly. You typically play something that is really heavy on fearing, applying a lot of condis, just CC chaining, and it's in the current playstyle of Guild Wars 2, it's too slow. Even with swords, it's too slow. The damage application, it's too low, or too single target. It's not really... You typically will not win on a core necro if your team is not playing around you. And that's a big problem. And it's just too slow to actually make it work. There was a time where you actually could carry a lot because you were so tanky, you could kill people over time, but it's not the time anymore. So that's just, yeah, the sad truth here. Just, if you like it, go for it, but don't expect it to be the absolute carry build. Yeah. Yesterday I felt so sorry for them, I started to giving them kills. Oh, you're such a nice person. Giving the enemies kills could also be called grieving in PvP, but in World versus World I guess no one cares, so that's fine. But I feel like it's just the matchmaking in with the alliances and stuff it feels so off. It's so often the case that one team is stomping so hard. This is Corrosive Poison Cloud? What? That's a cook, I have to be honest. Okay, I think I should win this. What? This guy's playing some crazy cooks. Corrosive Poison Cloud into the... Whoa, that's crazy. Okay, now I think I might have him. Okay, what? CC chaining the Necromancer? No. Come on, why is everyone so tanky in World versus World? I played it actually quite decently, but I still lost. Well, I did not lose yet, but... I mean, it's Celestial Harbinger with some weird utility skills. Oh, this 101 takes forever. I think I might have him now. Gosh. No, I lost. Oh. Condi Harp with that magic. Can I get a fair matchup with this build? It's impossible. So sad. I could have won that. I tried my best, you know. It's like I'm playing a C tier build versus a S tier build. You could see the difference. I played that very nicely, I would say. Of course, I did a lot of mistakes, but that's just how PvP is. But it's so crazy. I could have won that if I played a little bit better, even though my build is way worse, of course. It's crazy. This is how the difference is in World versus World. You play a meta build versus a non-meta build, and you try so hard and you still lose. I tried my best. I really wanted to get one win with this build. Sorry to go back to this topic. That's fine. For World vs. World Power Herald, I'm gonna try Sword, Sword, Spear. So for Sword, Sword, Energy, Air, and Spear, Cleansing, Hydromancy. Yeah, I would say, yeah. Yeah, I would say Air is the better choice because you get a lot of burst damage with the Air Sigil. You can go for Force or something like that if you want to, but I think Air is nice to get some more burst damage on the Sword, Sword because Sword, Sword is your burst set. Yeah, that's why I would do it, yeah. Today I did some matches and it was awful. I played Heal Elementalist. I wish they could left the Elementalist, the Alacrity trait for PvP. Yeah, I mean... No, let me go. Yes. I would say it's sad that Alacrity had to go in PvP. I think in World vs. World was the bigger issue, but in PvP I think it was actually just collateral damage, I would say, sadly. So I agree, it's for Elementalist at least it was an interesting trade. Yeah. Because you traded your healing for that to some extent. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, Necromancer is really good. It's always, if you play against an Elementalist or Necromancer in World vs. World roaming, you always are on the worst spot. So I try my best to showcase this build here, but it's really hard to find a matchup that is actually worthwhile doing. I'm not completely sure which matchup is really in my favor, to be honest, because all of the matchups are, I really have to play better than them, and then I still might lose. So yeah, I try my best. But Necromancer is really strong right now. Yeah, exactly. You're completely right there, Chris. I'm still learning the build. I don't want to be sad. I just want to, you know, I'm always a person that wants to improve and get better at stuff. And when I see the potential of winning something and I lost just in the last few percent, then I know I could have won. You know, that's the sad truth. Maybe a thief. Let's take the thief 101. If this guy wants to play it. No, okay, it's not a 101. Yeah. You think Sword with Spear playable for SPVP too? Yes, I think if you play very aggressively, you can make Sword work. But in PvP, it's way less about playing something that is actually... Okay, wait, let me do a 101 against a Mesmer. That seems like it's a... Okay, maybe it's not a 101. Heh. Just left. Okay, I guess then it's not... Yeah, I think for PvP, I think the shield is a little bit better because you typically fight Condi classes. You need to be rooted in places, not something that is completely dogshit because you have a smaller map. It's not something that is always, you know, a death sentence. Okay. Portal. I mean, I guess this guy doesn't want to fight me. Yeah, but your portal went on out, my friend. I'm quite fast on this build. Oh, come on. No one will fight me, or if they want. Oh, this one. Firebrand? No. Yeah, I think shield is a valid choice in PvP. And I would say sword offhand is more aggressive if you can make it work. If you have the playstyle for that, if you have the teammates for that, it's the better aggressive choice. But oftentimes, especially if you've played against very good players, the shield is probably the more general solid option, because you're very likely to get pressured at some point, and sword doesn't deliver a lot of ways to get out of a fight with the teleports in PvP. So just that's my opinion on that, yeah. Yeah, you see my determination. Yeah, I try my best to not be toxic or anything, but it's always like, yeah. I try my best to get better at something. Okay, this guy now killed 2 people. I will let him kill this guy, and then I will do a 1-on-1. Seems like this guy doesn't know how to play and wants to fight a 1-on-1. I think this is a matchup I want to take. They have not a lot of range pressure, actually. Oh, the Condi burst. I think this guy is so dead. I interrupted the 3 skill. Now he's dead. Now we can safely stomp him. Yeah. Yeah. Condi Reaper is really, really good. Oh, there we go. There's a Condi Reaper. I think this is actually very aggressive by the Reaper. He will go back in a second. No. There we go. World vs. World roaming Thief isn't in a good spot. Shadow Arts was the Apex Predator for so many years, it got nerfed and now it's much harder to play. Yes, correct. I just want to show that Thief is actually playable, especially Specter is quite playable if you know what you're doing. Of course, it's not as broken as the other builds, but you can still make it work. I'm a Specter enjoyer, so I still like to play it. Yeah, but I'm totally agree. I think World vs. World Thief is not in a good spot. In general, I would say Thief in competitive modes is not in a very good spot, because it's actually quite outclassed by a lot of other builds. Only Spectre is the build that is actually quite decent in PvP, at least, yeah. Okay. I feel like I get caught on Herald and I'm just dead, lol. You really have to know your dodges and energy management. Yes, of course. That's the biggest difficulty of Herald. That's why Herald is not a very easy class to play. It's actually one of the harder classes just to learn, because you have so much stuff to keep an eye out. Ooh. I think I'm dead. The E-mob killed me there. It's actually crazy. I run Pistol, Dagger, Scepter, Torch because I was lazy to change from Scourge. I mean, that makes sense. It's not a bad weapon set for sure. A good Daredevil makes you feel like you can do nothing. Yeah, that's true. I mean, Daredevil is in a very good spot if you can play it. If you know what you're doing, Sword, Dagger, Bound, Daredevil is really good in PvP right now. But you have to play it really, really aggressively. You have to know your limits. And I think only a handful of Daredevils actually really know that. Most of the people that I encounter that play Daredevil are just bad. I'm sorry, but that's just the case. You can also play X-Thief, but it's also not... You have to know how to do it. It's not something that you can pick up and you will perform very well in the first match, I would say. So, yeah, just wanted to get that out there. I think Thief is very skill dependent. It's not a build that plays itself. Yeah. I'll be able to play Herald when I get the third hand for fingers 11 through 15, lol. Yeah, I mean, it's always like you have to learn how to set up your keybinds. So when I can show you my Herald setup. So if I play Herald, let's say I play Herald in World vs. World, for example, my skill setup is I have my 1 to 5 on my hand, left hand, yeah. Then I have weapon swap on my F1 and F2, of course. And then my 6 to 0 skills I have on my mouse. So all that on my MMO mouse. And that helps, of course, to press all the buttons. If you don't have that, you have to find keys that are on your left-handed keyboard side that are close to your W, for example. Maybe Q, maybe E, maybe X, something like that, to put on your keys here. It's possible, but the MMO mouse helps a lot to do this. Yeah. Exactly, just like six shots mentions. That if you can find keys that work for you, this is where you should put them. But of course, that gets way more complicated if you play, for example, Untamed, where you have way more F skills and you can't get to F6, for example. So you have to maybe find some control alteration of that, and then it gets way more convoluted. Yeah, but it's always in an MMO. Not having an MMO mouse is typically a very big problem to get keybinds for that. In Guild Wars 2 it's actually possible, but if you play World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy and stuff, it's not possible. I was not a fan of Scourge when I got Obscure and Pistol used. I swapped to Reaper. I used because they are legendary equip and generator skill. I used to shoot people some conditions. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You don't have to play classes that you don't like. So I think if you don't like Scourge, don't play it. Or if you like Scourge, play it. It's totally fine. I think Pistol is interesting. It's very strong. If you play a Connie build, you should probably play Pistol. It's just very, very good. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 6 shots, that makes absolute sense, yeah. So what did I want to do? I want to do some strike mission if I can find some. Let's do some DPS, I guess. Very good. So what do we play? Let's play some power words. It's actually really fun. The nerf to power virtuoso, they actually reverted. So my power virtuoso is still untouched, and I'm really happy about that. I can still play my power virtuoso, which is obviously my best or my most enjoyed power DPS build right now. I tried a Naga, it made me insane. The buttons were so small on my hand, didn't fit the mouse, so that my thumb was well located for the buttons. Yeah, I mean, it's always like a hit or miss. So you have to test it and see if it works for you, but it's not always the case. So sometimes you just have problems getting actually to the keys and it's too big or something. So you can't make every mouse work for you, but I would say it helps a lot if you find a mouse that is actually suited for you. For me, it works. I have a Logitech that works very well for me. I'm not sponsored, sorry. But this one works for me. And if you find something like that, I think it's immense how much usefulness you can get, because I still have the keys that are Q, E, X and stuff bound. For example, I have X is looking back, so look behind. This is really helpful in PvP when I run away, even in PvE when I have just to check if my skips in fractals and dungeons are working, if let's say, for example, if I'm stealthing and the enemies are not following me or something. That helps a lot. Stuff like that, binding to very close keybinds, helps a lot. But it's obviously something niche. If you don't have the MMO mouse, you can't go for that, and you have to bind your utility and healing skills and stuff to your close buttons. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. I got that the thumb was not well located, of course. Yes, I got that. Give me quickness. So let's see. Oh, the burst was nice, was good, even though I didn't have quickness. That hurt. Why did that hurt so much? Because I was targeted. Okay. Yeah, I think everyone has to find their own keyboard and mouse setup. It's not something that I can say, oh, you have to use this. This is the only one that works. It's very important that you find something that works for you. That's even more important than playing a class that you like, is finding the right setup to play this class. I think it's not always the same as well. Sometimes you have a class that is very worthwhile to run without an MMO mouse, and then you have a class like Untamed where you have big problems if you don't have alteration keybinds, like, for example, how is it called? control and stuff, because you have so many buttons or possibilities for buttons to press that it's actually almost impossible without that. Yeah. Yeah, but what I was saying is that Power Virtuoso was supposed to get a big nerf in PvE, but they completely reverted the change and now it's untouched and it still has the 43k or something DPS benchmark, which is really nice for a somewhat ranged build. And you can even play with the Greatsword with just a little bit of a DPS loss, which I will make a build guide about very soon. So it's really, really cool. It's one of my most favorite DPS builds right now, just because of the very crazy utility of having this crazy amount of defense baked into the base kit and having range pressure, having very nice fast-paced playstyle. I really like the Mesmer Spear. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite spear design. It's really, really fun. So it's just overall a very, very nice build. Yeah, and you can see the DPS is also quite nice there. Yeah, I mean, I was this dance with the. I mean, it was I think it was going for 10 minutes. This Holo Thief 101. I was playing Condi Holo against the Thief, and the Thief played every single build that is possible on a Thief, like Daredevil, Specter. I think even Deadeye. Everything was once in there in this forever taking 101. I was thinking about doing a short video out of it. But I'm not sure if people will watch it, because it's so really, it was so annoying to fight. I'm not sure if people want to see me fighting that for 10 minutes straight. It was insane. If you can, do you remind me what build it was so I can set it up for some fun? Yes, I wasn't sure if I want to make a build guide about exactly that build, because some people in the chat said, please don't make a build guide about this annoying build, because it's so annoying to play against the Condi Holo, which I can totally understand. That's why I didn't release a guide about it yet. But if there are a lot of people interested, maybe I will release a guide, even though people don't like me for that. So let's see. Let's see. I will definitely send it to you though. Yeah. But let me know, as always, if you have comments, if you have builds that you really want to see, please let me know. I'm always open and happy for suggestions. Yeah. Welcome, Cloudovan. Welcome, welcome. Hope you had a nice day so far. I hope you all had, for that matter. So that's why, I mean, Distortion, just standing here waiting until the skill is over, don't having any problems, and still dealing DPS, it's amazing. I didn't even have the right food setup. I just played with whatever food I currently have. It's actually not necessary for this build to have the right food. To be top DPS, that is. There we go. If you GG here, if the full party's GG's, you get 3 more profit shots, I think, blue profit shots. So, I guess better than nothing, yeah. 3, there we go. Just a short tip. I say it like that, we saw it and we can't use unsee, so share this abomination with the peasants of the world. Condi Holo is more toxic than Celestial Harbinger. I would say Celestial Harbinger is a meta build, because it's absolutely insane how strong it is. Condi Holo is, I wouldn't say strong in that sense. It's not a S tier build, but it's very annoying. If you fight a Condi Holo, you are most likely not killing it. It doesn't mean that you will die to it, but it's very bad in that sense. You don't want to see a Condi Holo fighting you. That's what I want to say. So that's the build. So you play with pistol, with shield, you play with Elixir H, you play with Elixir Gun, you play Elixir U, Elixir S, Elite Mortar Kit, just to have the most annoyance that you can get while still being just a Holosmith. And then you play these traits, so Inventions, Alchemy, and Holosmith, and you take as much Condi cleanses as you can get. Some super speed access, you get some nice heat, some burning access. So you dodge on your foes to get some burning on them. And then you only take defensive traits for the most part. Alchemy, you take Vigor. You get Regen when you cleanse Condis. You get Elixirs, give you Might. You have a lot of boon duration. You get a lot of duration increase of your Elixirs. So you have a lot of Elixirs here. You have this one, and of course, almost all your tool belt skills. All of the tool belt skills, actually. And a lot of utility skills. So all of that increase the duration and give you Might. It's insane if you just spam them. Of course, it's in PvE now, but still, if you ever just spam them, you see how much boons I get. And it's actually insane. And then you play, of course, with protection, and whenever you get protection, you cleanse a Condi from them, you get resistance when you dodge. It's absolutely insane how much tankiness you get from your traits. And then, most importantly, you take Relic of Vars. This is why this build is viable, because whenever you use an elixir skill or a healing skill, you get 3 stacks of poison on the next attacks, and you can stack that. So if I use all my elixir skills here, you can see how much stacks of that I get. I go up to 24 stacks of that, so the next 24 attacks will inflict poison. So I play full, let's say, ritualist mix and stuff. I get a lot of boon duration, I get a lot of annoyingness of that. It's absolutely insane. It's a build where I say, whoever fights this, I'm really sorry. I'm really, really sorry. It's just annoying. It's just annoying to fight it. It's not incredibly strong, but it's absolutely, I don't know. It's really just saying, yeah. This is the build, and you play energy and cleansing, I would say. Can mix and match whatever you like. It's not absolutely important. Cleansing is not necessary, but it's very fun. What's this trait you didn't hear? Which one do you mean? This one is really, really good. You get protection. You actually... Yeah, it's full ritualist. Yeah, yes. Yeah, sometimes I would say it's completely right, 6 shots. Sometimes it's having something that is absolutely annoying, absolutely breaks the enemy mentally, and then they lose. If you fight someone for 10 minutes and they can't actually win against you, you probably win the match at some point, the matchup, because you absolutely break them. If you have a really strong build, maybe you kill them before, but it's maybe more fun to break them mentally as well. Just saying, sometimes you have to play something that is absolutely annoying. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's really fun. Yeah, I agree. Thanks for all the follows, by the way. Thanks, you, Kingfisher, Carlito. Really appreciate it. Exactly. Break their spirit, and then just you win after that as well. So what did I want to do? I wanted to craft a legendary. Give me a second. I have to set it up. So there we go. Yeah, maybe I will show the Condo Ruler after that. Let me first craft the legendary. I wanted to do that anyway for my giveaway. I think I have everything. So I need to buy some more stuff from the vendor here. And what do we need? We need an Eldritch Scroll, we need a Bloodstone Shard, Gift of Glory, Gift of War, Mystic Runestones 100. Just casually shopping at the Mystic Forge person. I have everything prepared before that. Then we need some research node stuff. How much do we need? 600 of those. So this means like this. We need to go and craft some. Is it some precursor? Let's craft some precursor. Let's craft a precursor for the staff, so I can sell it. Or maybe if the vote on YouTube, currently I have a vote going, which if you want to have 1 legendary giveaway, or if you want to have 4 smaller 500 gold giveaways, then Fortified. There we go. Now we need this one. And so I will reach probably sometime soon 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. So thanks for your support, by the way, for that. If you want to participate in the giveaway regarding this big milestone celebration event, be sure to vote in the vote that I'm currently having on my YouTube channel, because then you can actually influence if it will be a single giveaway or 4 smaller giveaways, and your chances of winning will be higher because of that. Just let me know. And whatever comes out, I will either give away this legendary or give away 4 times 500 gold. Yes. The vote is just on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. So just scroll down in the description of the Twitch chat, and there's a link to my YouTube channel, and there in the post section of my YouTube channel you can actually vote. Yes. Yes, I'm currently crafting a Generation 3 staff, for that matter, actually. And yes, perfectly, you found it, very good. Yes, I mean, you should not, please, Chuck and everyone in chat, please don't ecto-gamble. Ecto-gambling is not worth it. The bank always wins in the end. So please, please, please don't do that. It's not worth it. So we need now a poem. How do you do it? Poem on staffs. This is the legendary precursor. Don't listen to him, gang. Gambling is the only way. You have only risk 100% of your money and invest in it. Yeah, I mean, there are some people, I don't want to name call here, but we have some people in my community that win big by opening, for example, blackline chests. I know this person opened 1,000 blackline chests and got, I think, 6 contracts. I opened 2,000 blackline chests for statuettes only, and I got 0 contracts. So I know what gambling is. Don't get me started on that. Just saying, this is something that is really horrible. And yeah, some people will win, but most people won't. So please, if you want to be in the, let's say, logic, in the rational community part, just don't try it. You will be more happy in the long run, believe me. Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm talking about then. You know, it's like this really funny sentence about 99% of the gamblers quit before they win big. Yeah, this thinking, they quit before they win big. Yeah, that's always the case. So please don't start it. That's the big thing. Yeah, don't start it. So what do we want it to do? Poem on stars. What do we need? That tales, tale of adventure, lamplight badge. Then we need the sheet of paper. Oh, of premium paper. Yeah. Okay. And the spirit shaft. Spirit wood staff head. Yep, this is what we need. Oh no, I think you misinterpret me. I think that's not what I wanted to say. That's not what I wanted to say. Exactly, don't stop before a big win. No, that's not what I wanted to say. But I guess, I mean, I'm maybe you got all my luck. I played Guild Wars 2 for so long, and I really every time I try something that is somewhat luck related, I lose big. So maybe it's just my account that's cursed. I don't care. I have a lot of gold on this account, so it doesn't matter to me. But it's just, maybe I'm just a weird person. Maybe I have really big bad luck on this one. Thanks for the follow, Sochi. So I don't know. It's sometimes you just have to accept it, you know. Okay, gift of research. We need the reagent. We need the other reagent. A lot of luck. Where's my luck? Not here. Where's my luck? There we go. On the bell curve of luck, you're on the outside section for losing. Yeah, I would probably say so. I mean, it's always, you know, it's always like the people that invest a lot. They always think, oh my God, I should get a lot of stuff out. It's just luck. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win, and it feels like I lost a little bit more than average. I don't really mind that. Just saying, if you are not having a lot of gold on in Guild Wars 2 on your account, just don't go for gambling. Don't go for blackline chests. Don't go for gambling with ecto gambles, or really, let's say, don't invest into stuff like infusions and stuff. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So this one, this one, this one takes quite a while. There's a reason there's a gambling fallacy and sunk cost fallacy. Yeah, exactly. I never play PvP, do you know? If we win 1 gold in any rank game that you win, even if you are the lowest rank. So you don't get 1 gold. I think it's less than 1 gold, but depending on the rank that you are, you actually get more pip progress for your reward track. So if you count that in, you will get probably more than 1 gold. You will probably, even if you lose a match in low rated matches with the progress of the reward track and the pip progress, you will probably get more on average. Because for example, the last chest here gives 20 gold plus the stuff that you get from the reward track. So I would say PvP, just if you play with boosters and stuff, you can probably get around 10 to maybe 10 gold per hour if you play 4 matches or something and win 2, lose 2, something like that. But it's not insane, you know. You play PvP, you have to invest everything that you get into gold, and you will get gold and let's say 10 gold or something. But I have not done research on that. It's just my impression as a veteran that plays a lot of PvP. But it's not really, you should not play PvP for the gold. You should play it for fun. You should play it to improve, whatever. You should maybe play it to get the achievements. You should play it if you want to get the legendaries from there. But it's not something that you should play for gold. You should only play it for gold if you go for tournaments. There are a lot of ways to make a lot of gold. Like Six Shots points out, it's actually making gold with fishing. Yeah, could be lucrative. It's in my top 10 gold guides. So yes, it's true. It's true. It's very lucrative. But there are other ways. You don't have to, you know, go for one thing. You can go for the one that you like the most. Yeah. So now we go for the gift of battle. This one. There we go. There's the mists. Now we need the rune stones. Which ones do we need? Mystic ones, very good. I'm done soon here. Soon. Almost there. This is the first part. Now we need a lot of chunks. Chunk. Now we need jade, and jade rune stones we need as well. And the blessing. So there we go. I mean, I crafted so many legendaries and I still need the cheat sheet on my right here. It's just legendary crafting in Guild Wars 2 is not very straightforward, I have to be honest. This one, and this one. Now we have 2 of 3. Now we need all the gifts. Yeah, there are so many ways. Let me quickly catch up on chat. I think you can get 40 gold per hour with fishing. It can be even higher if you know what you're doing. Fishing is very lucrative, yeah. And I have a guide about it. Of course, you have to invest time. It's not something that you just sit there AFK and you will do it. You have to do something, but it's not insane. It's not like you have to be really try-harding and stuff to get it. It's just you have to invest time. That's how you have to do it. Yeah. Give those scales. I think we have it. Yeah, very good. A lot of builds actually use Greatsword. Guardian uses Greatsword. Reaper uses Greatsword. What else does use Greatsword very well? Mesmer actually can use Greatsword very well too. Chronomancer, exactly. Revenant, Vindicator uses it very well. So Greatsword is even though not all classes can use it, but let's say 6 or so classes can use it. It's maybe only 5, I'm not sure, 5 I think. But even though only those can use it, it's still not played on every build, but I would say most of them actually have a meta build that uses this. Vindicator, Reaper, Guardian. The only one that doesn't use it at all, I would say, is Warrior. It's just power crept. It's not very good anymore. It was really good in the start of the launch of the game, but it's not anymore. But yeah, you can't have everything, I guess. Let's see, maybe it gets a rework soon and we will actually enjoy Warrior with Greatsword again. But right now we don't. Okay, so what are we needing here as well? Draconic Tribute. The precursor. There we go. Last craft here. And there it is, legendary. Hey Summer, hey chat. I'm a new player and I was wondering if your Hammer Catalyst build with Celestial stats was still okay. Yes, it's actually very okay. It's even better than before. Yeah. I'm not doing PvP whatsoever, but would you suggest I do the Condi Celestial or the Marauder one? If you don't play PvP at all, I would say you play Celestial. In open world, it's extremely strong. You can solo a lot of stuff. It's extremely good. The Celestial version is very good. I would not play Marauder if you don't play competitive modes. Yeah. There we go. 2000 gold in one legendary. Very nice. That's the giveaway. If you vote in my poll on YouTube, if you vote for the legendary there, this will be the legendary giveaway. So let's see. If you, let's say, decide to do so. So we heard some Condi Holo. You wanted to play some Condi Holo. You asked for it. Now you get it. If you do Exploration and Fractals, Celestial is still good in Exploration. In Fractals, I would not recommend it if you go for tryharding, because there you want to have something that is really glass cannon or really supportive, and both of which is not really the case with the Celestial setup. But to start out, it's definitely worth it. Yeah, just saying. Yeah. I'm a returning player and I watched a few of your videos this week. Thanks for those. Yeah, glad you enjoyed them. Really appreciate it. Glad I could help. So just wanted to mention that it's always about fractals and raids and strikes and stuff. Typically you play something that is really leaning in one direction, either full DPS or full support. Yeah. You typically don't play Celestial. There are not a lot of builds in raids and fractals and stuff that are very, very good with Celestial. It's Willbender, it's Firebrand, it's Specter, it's Scourge. Those three are probably the best that you can get. But all the others, it's not really crazy. Yeah. Yeah, glad Afro that you like it. Really glad. And no problem, of course. So always keep that in mind. Celestial is a very good build in open world. It's very good for playing solo, but in group content and fractals and raids and strikes, it's not always the best option. It works, but it's not the best option. We have a question from YouTube, wondering what you think of grieving stats. Is there really any build that would benefit from Ferocity and Condi? I use it for Condi Willbender with Malice and Smoldering Balthasar runes, 100% boon duration on that setup. Yes. So you are correct, Willbender, it works decently, but even on a meta build you wouldn't use it. It's only used in PvE if you want to run, for example, a Reaper. Condi Reaper only does bleeding. Really, that's the only Condi it does. And that's what you would play. Grieving you would play on there. But on a Willbender you can make it work, but on all other classes it doesn't work. It's just straight up not working. But on Reaper, it's actually meta pick. On Willbender, it's let's say close to meta pick. Yeah. You can play it on Guardian in general because you mostly apply burns, but on Willbender it's obviously very strong as well. Reaper works because you have a high damage weapon with Spear, and the Reaper Shroud is dealing a lot of power damage as well. So you get a lot of value of the ferocity, while you get a high amount of value from the condition damage without the expertise, because you can get your bleeding duration to 100% with just playing with just a lot of application of bleeding, and this helps a lot to just deal damage with bleeding only, with chill and stuff, but that's a very specific build. Yeah, Condi Reaper is really fun. I like it a lot, but it's not something that is really common, actually. Not a lot of people actually know how to play this build. For Grieving Willbender, would you use strike damage weapons, right? Like Sword, and Torch? Yes. The idea of a Willbender is that you play a very high-hitting power damage weapon, like Sword, like maybe Pistol, depending on how hard do you want to lean in the Condi build, but typically you play something like Sword, maybe even Greatsword or something like that, and you just rely on the Condi damage that you get passively from your burning procs. Yeah. Sad, I didn't hit it. I want to get a 10-minute 1-on-1 against the Daredevil again. There we go. So let's see if we can do it. It starts again. Typical thief that just wants to kill me and is not succeeding in that. And he pots back. No, so disgusting, this build. I'm so sorry if I show that on stream all the time. Who wants to fight this? No one. Look at this. I mean, I don't know, because I have standard models on, so it's always looking like it's the same dude, but it could be. It would be absolutely insane what the bad luck of this guy would be. And oh, that was barely he did get away. No. I think I have him actually from the poison. No, the poison did not kill him. Oh no, there are 2 people here. 3 people actually. That's so mean. I would have killed him. That's how you win in PvP in World vs. World. Just wait until 2 other people come and help you. Yeah, I think it's fine. 6 shots in World vs. World, for the most part, it's fine. But in PvP, where you really want to see an animation, and if they're playing a mini Asura, sometimes it's really hard to see an animation because their arms are so short, for example. So if you really try hard, the standard models are really important. But of course, if you like to see other people's skins and just their looks, yes, you're right, of course, then you have to turn it off. What do you think are solid beginner PvP classes to learn? Power Reaper? No, I wouldn't go for Power Reaper. Power Reaper is really bad currently, and it's also not that easy. Soul Beast? I would probably go for something like maybe Condi Reaper. It's not that easy, but it's something that gets the job done. Willbender can be fun. It's very squishy. Power Herald, I would say it's really, really good right now. So even though you're not very good and it's not very easy to learn, it's a build that is so good that it can still carry you. So it always depends. I think in PvP, I would probably say the best classes to start out are meta picks, because they are really good and they help you already. Because if you start on a build that is somewhat easy to learn but not meta, you might counteract that it's easy to learn, but it's not that good. So if you understand what I mean, in PvP, I would rather go for something that is already quite good and you learn the class already and start from there, than going for something that is absolutely worse than something else, just a little bit easier. Because in PvP, it's not about a specific class, it's more about learning when to dodge, learning when to move to a different node and stuff. And that's something that you just have to learn at some point. It doesn't matter which build you're playing. That's my take on that. Yeah. Yeah. Do they have the same colors? I think they have the same colors. Yes, that's how it works. Yes. Power Willbender is really nice. That's true. Condy Ripper is good. Power Herald is good. Yeah. I think there are a lot of builds that currently are quite nice to learn. It's not something that you would recommend to new players if you really say, "Ooh, this is the most easy build to learn." But it's definitely something that I would recommend to people that want to succeed and slowly learn. Because you have to learn at some point. Nothing in PvP will be easy, because it's always fighting other people, and sometimes you will encounter someone that is way better than you and you will struggle. That's how it is. It doesn't matter which build you're playing. So as soon as you accept that, you can learn and you can actually prepare and get better at the game. That's just how I see it. Yeah. And I have build guides about all of those. The Power Herald will be out there soon as well, but the others I already have a guide, so you can check out my YouTube channel where I explain them and also showcase the thief is back, I think. Where is it to go? Don't fight any NPCs, so I will kill the NPCs, or I'll leave them. It was a nice Condi burst actually. And we have another helper. Welcome Snowdrop, welcome, welcome. Sorry that we couldn't do the training today. I tried my best. It's not working out. I hope we get it sometime soon. Maybe find some time to actually make it work. You're back for the 10-minute 101 against the thief as a Condi holo. What can I say? This guy is actually dying. I have to be careful here. I'm not sure if I can actually rest this guy. Maybe I can force the thief to come here. Just want to bait him here actually. Yeah, very good. Yeah, I think this is a one-on-one that he doesn't want to take right now. Okay. This will come back in 3, 2, 1. Nice, there is this. We killed you. Okay, we have a lot of pressure on the thief. Okay, we have a lot of poison. Nine. German, angry German here. I want to get the kill. And now we get outnumbered by an ally. So sad. That's fine. You play Guild Wars 1. How is the anniversary event? Is it good? Do people enjoy it? I actually am not really keeping up if everything is working out for the Guild Wars 1 enjoyers out there. Yes, I'm a German. You should have noticed that because of my angry screaming. No, I'm joking, of course. I'm German, but I try not to. There we go. We got the kill. Really outplayed him by the broken 10-minute 101 unkillable Condi Holosmith. That's how you want to win against them or lose them. That's how you want to do it. Really annoyed him until they are just not fighting anymore. I mean, it's a valid build. I have to be honest. It's not a bad build. It's just not a meta build, and it's extremely tanky. And if you like to have a slow-paced games playstyle, this is the build for you. It's absolutely insane how much tankiness you get. Wow, nice. 7 districts. Very good. Welcome, Carlos. Do you know when the gem store resets with new deals? Every Tuesday. It's 6 p.m. CEST. So whatever that means. So it's 4 hours. So roughly 4 hours ago it was the reset. And it will be next week as well. So it's always on Tuesday. Something like that, yeah. We can get another 101. Can't get enough of the nice 101. I guess at some point they get addicted to this crazy 101. Is this guy floating or something? Interesting. Just use all my elixirs all the time, just so that I can actually get the Relic of Vars procs. Just see how much of poison burning and stuff he already has on it. So good. Yeah, he got addicted to the one. It's actually really fun if you get your burst on the enemy, even though you are playing a Condi build that is absolutely not applying any Condis, you know. The only Condi that I apply is poison, and sometimes I apply some burning with that one. Yeah, he had some cheats going on there with the float. No, I think it was just a visual bug, but still really fun. This build is so it's really, you have to have the Wicked Love to actually make that. When you play that build, you have to be someone that is really, you know, you want to see the enemy suffer. You don't want to win, you just want to annoy them. You want to torment them. That's how you want to really, it's I don't know. Please don't play this build. I really say please don't play it. I don't want to fight against you if you play this build. Roaming is already in a bad spot. If I fight against this build all the time, it will not be a fun time. I can see that. Exactly, the German Schadenfreude. That's it. I think there is not even a word in English for that. So that means that the German people are always the ones that have this weird Schadenfreude. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Snowdrop. Really appreciate it. Thanks for your support. Also on Discord, really appreciate it. Yeah, 50-minute 101. Actual peak Guild Wars 2 gameplay. Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing that you can do in 2025 when you roam. You have to do a 101 that takes forever. And if you win, you have to do the Wicked Love and say this is absolutely skill difference and not the build. That's how you have to do it. Yeah. Is Holosmith good for solo PvE? I would say it's a decent pick. I have a build guide about it that can solo a lot of stuff. It is probably the worst solo build for elite specs of Engineer. So Scrapper is better in my opinion, and Mechanist is absolutely broken as a solo build. So it's, if I would rate it, I have a tier list and I would probably put it in B tier or something like that. It's not bad, don't get me wrong. It's a very decent pick, but if you enjoy other elite specs on Engineer as well, probably you're better off going for Mechanist or Scrapper. Just because of their damage is higher, their sustain is also higher, so it's just overall better. But it doesn't mean you can't play it. It's definitely a worth it pick. Yeah. Yeah, typically if you play something like that and you're real toxic person for World vs. World, you would also jump on the body. When you kill someone, you would also jump on it. But I'm not toxic. I don't want to do that. I think that's really, really mean. I don't want to do that. But that's what really toxic PvPers in World vs. World people do. Either jump on them or putting some siege on them. That's how you see that it's a real tryhard or a real toxic player. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's League of Legends, all the really try-hard games that are only playing PvP, that's how you typically would say this is toxicity's prime area. In Guild Wars 2, toxicity is not that common, but it is there, of course, in PvP and World vs. World because it's competitive. But even in PvE, I met toxic people. If just look at Auric Base and Octavine, people are flaming there as well, even though it's just a meta event that fails almost never, and still people flame. I mean, it's just human nature, I guess, and it's really sad, but it's just how it is, I guess. Yeah, spam siege, exactly. This is some really toxic stuff, especially back in, let's say, 2 months ago, where siege was really expensive. It was also very expensive to always throw siege on your enemies when you're a Roma main. You know, if it was 20 silver or 10 silver every time you killed an enemy, that is quite expensive. But so just just mentioning that. Exactly. One burn south. Exactly. When people flame and then someone fails the bomb mechanic or pulls them away or something like that, that's when you see the prime toxicity is also arrived in PvE. Yeah. Welcome, Debil. Welcome. Thanks for the follow, by the way, Afron Debil. Really appreciate it. Yeah, but that's how it goes, I guess. In every online game, I guess there's some kind of toxicity. I don't want to be part of that. I want to, I want to enjoy my game. I want to not make any toxic stuff. It's toxic enough to play a build like that. So, yeah. Yeah, I would also agree with you, Final One, on YouTube, that it's typically in Guild Wars 2, you don't really encounter a lot of toxicity for the most part. If you play to certain hours or in certain elos in ranked PvP, sometimes you have really toxic people there just because they think they are the best, even though they are not, and they flame you for doing a mistake or something. At least they think you did a mistake. That can happen. But for the most part in Guild Wars 2, especially in PvE, I would say toxicity is really low. I think Guild Wars 2 PvE and just in general, Guild Wars 2 community is actually quite nice. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. There's always a bad apple. That's just how it is. That's always in life. There are people that are just not very nice. Just ignore them if you can, and you will be probably better off. That's just how it goes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh, we have a... Oh, it's the thief again. Another 101. This time we have to kite out the NPCs. Otherwise we will lose. Be honest, wouldn't you be mad if you die by Asura hand? If you die by Asura hand? Yeah, maybe you're right there. I mean, now he's dead. Because of the NPC. Because the NPC is always de-stealthing this guy. So that's not something that you want to see as a thief, obviously. I want to get some shocking aura to actually interrupt this dagger storm. No, they have stability nowadays as well. It's really annoying, actually. It takes forever again. Are you ready for the next 10-minute 101? Do you think that 300 hours on Guild Wars 2 is a lot? No, not at all. I think you have to have at least 1,000 hours to be considered a veteran in this game, to be honest. This game is so huge, as most MMOs actually nowadays, that you have to play a lot to actually be considered a veteran. 300 hours is not a beginner anymore, but it's definitely also not someone that is really experienced in the game, or at least not someone that is very acknowledged in all the stuff that the game has to offer. So yes, I would say having 1k hours or something is crazy. Yeah, sorry, I'm playing this build. I'm really sorry for all the people that have to fight me. Nice, I got him. Very good, we got him. So now we can stomp him. Wait for the teleport. Yep, there we go. Now we can kill the NPCs. Wow. Oh no, another one approaches. I have to kite away. Thanks for the tier 1, Wolfie. Thanks, really appreciate it. Okay. Never fight in the camp, and now I'm doing it in the enemy camp. I guess it's fine, we have an ally that helps me. You don't want the NPCs to just randomly attack you, randomly blind you. I learned that the hard way. So please follow my advice here. I try my best. I almost have 6k hours also played since launch. Yeah, it's always, you know, you should not say someone is bad or good because of playing a lot of hours, but having 6k hours in a game makes you probably quite acknowledged. You're probably having more knowledge about the game than a person that has 300 hours, which is not bad, you know, it's just how the game plays out, and that's just how it is. And I would say having 1k hours makes you some kind of a veteran. Not a very high amount of hours. There are people that have 50k hours. I don't know how it's possible to have 50k hours, but there are people that have that, so I guess that's how it is. Yeah, I mean, I still feel like I just started having to figure out so much things. Yeah, I mean, I'm playing the game for, I don't know, quite a long time now as well, and I still figure things out, you know? I make build guides about stuff and still figure new just combinations of stuff, new situations, conditions, whatever happens. I learn something new every day when I play Guild Wars 2, you know? That's just how it goes. It's a big game and there's always something to discover. In all my Guild Wars 2 time, I have close to 10k hours. And I'm still a noob. I mean, I wouldn't say that, you know, you know a lot about the game, even though you probably don't know that you know a lot, if you understand what I mean. It's just the process of playing the game you will learn passively. And that's really fun. Of course, some people learn faster than others. And especially if you stick to one class, one game mode and stuff, you will learn way more. But that's just how it goes, you know. You don't have to play something that is absolutely crazy good just because you have 10k hours. You can, but you don't have to. Just have fun, enjoy the game, and if you have a lot of hours, good. If you have not a lot of hours, yeah, you can still have fun and get more hours in the future. Guild Wars 2 is not going anywhere. That's a good thing, yeah. Yeah. But that's just my opinion, of course, you know. Some people would say you're absolutely, you know, addicted if you have more than 1k hours in a game. I mean, maybe. I'm just saying Guild Wars 2 is almost free, you know. You don't have to pay anything. If you get the expansions, it's a buy to play. It's probably not even 100 euros nowadays to get all the expansions. It's so much money you get, so much value you get for that money. It's crazy, yeah. Which Living World season and which chapter would you recommend buying first? So in my opinion, if you're a story enthusiast, I would probably go for chronological order. So always go for, let's say, Living World Season 1, Living World Season 2, Heart of Thorns and stuff, and continue like that. If you want to get to the best maps, I would probably go for Living World Season 4, because they have the best maps that you can farm and the most gold that you can get back out of. But I mentioned that as well in more detail in my Gem Store tier list on my YouTube channel, so be sure to check that out. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that you are bad, Snowdrop. You're probably one of the best people that I know in my chat, in my community. And 6k hours is not a lot. I would say that's, of course, it's a lot in reference to other things. If you, for example, put 6k hours in, I don't know, playing the piano, you're probably somewhat good at it. But this is the same is true for Guild Wars 2. You are a very good player, I would say. Yeah. And that's just the case for a lot of stuff, that if you put 10k hours into something, you will be good at it to some extent. You will not be, let's say, professional if you are not going for that. But it might still be something that is worth saying, that you are somewhat experienced at it. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, the Conduct Juno build is really fun. It's absolutely insane. I mean, against this build, it would probably be not that good, but against the Catalyst or Condi Celestial Harbinger, it's actually really, really good. Yeah. No, not at all, Filthy. Don't worry about it. Of course. I like all my community people. Don't worry. I'm still learning, have so much fun learning new stuff. Yeah, that's the good part. Guild Wars 2 is so big. If you enjoy learning, Guild Wars 2 is the game for you. There's so much stuff to learn. It's really, really cool. I always like to have some new stuff that I can discover. Okay, I guess this guy is dead. We killed him before. The range of that is actually surprisingly low. 600 only. That's always, I'm always think, oh, this will hit, and then it doesn't. CC. Nice, and setup. And now he's dead. He's actually quite tanky. Crazy. Playing since 2014. Not sure how many hours I have by now. I mean, you can check in the game if you really want to know. You can check by typing /h in the chat. And then you will see how many hours you have. I have quite a lot of hours. But I have to also say, I played this game not without a break. That would be a lie. But I played the game almost since release. I stopped for maybe 6 months at some point. But there was not a single year where I didn't play Guild Wars 2 as my main game at some point. So I played Guild Wars 2 a lot. And I'm not proud of that, because I think putting so much hours into one single thing and not getting paid for that is obviously, yeah, debatable if that's a good thing. But I like it. It's my hobby. I like to have that, and I think that's totally fine. Yeah. But I'm not even close to people that actually are absolutely insane in the hours, because I know the amount of people that are on efficiency and stuff, they have 50k hours. I don't know how you can play that many hours, or if it's just standing AFK or botting around, I don't know. But 50k hours, it's absolutely insane, and that's the number that people actually achieve. Yeah. Exactly. Everyone plays Rival Back now. Yeah, I mean, that's not thanks to me, it's more thanks to CMC and the Balance crew that it's possible again to play Rival Mech, the absolutely broken build. Yeah. Which is obviously insane. I mean, I don't care if people have that many hours. I'm just thinking about how many hours per day that is, which is obviously something like, I don't know, 6 to 10 or something per day for 10 years straight. Yeah, that's quite a lot of hours, quite a lot of time you put in there. Getting pain for playing games nowadays is, my opinion, something wicked that happened, and I don't think it's a good idea. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I think if you're AFK, that's obviously something different. A lot of my hours, I have to admit that, are also, let's say, semi-AFK, because I was doing, before I started on my YouTube channel doing it, it was, let's say, 10 months ago or something, I was doing some, wouldn't say big, but I was doing a lot of trading post stuff to get money in Guild Wars 2. So I was doing a lot of flipping and a lot of just processing of materials and getting money that way, gold rather. And that took a lot of account time, so to say, because I was just standing there passively and was watching Netflix or something meanwhile. It was just running in the background. And to be honest, I think I will not, let's say, I wouldn't lie, but I would probably say that, I don't know, maybe 3k hours of my account are probably standing around doing nothing, just crafting and stuff. So that's what I was doing. It's not as good anymore, Devil. You're right. Flipping is not as broken anymore, but you can still make it work. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think the final one, you're definitely right there. I think everyone can choose their own path in life. You should never judge someone just because they do a lot of, for you, maybe not understandable stuff. So if someone else plays, I don't know, soccer for 10k hours, maybe that's not understandable for you, but you shouldn't judge that, you know? If I played Guild Wars 2 for 50k hours, I mean, you shouldn't care about that. It's not your life. So I think that's definitely something that I always would absolutely be following your that statement for sure. I know why you like Asuras, because you're a lab rat in real life. I mean, there could be something right in there. I mean, it's not like I like Asuras, I just don't dislike them. That's why I play my World versus World characters, otherwise I wouldn't play them. But maybe you're right there, maybe you're right there. I get the belt, run. Oh no, that's not how he meant it, hopefully. Please, no. Yeah. Oh no. What is your main favorite profession? So it depends on the game mode. In PvE currently it's Mesmer. I think Mesmer is really fun, very flexible, has a lot of cool elite specs in there that are really fun to play. In PvP I like to play Necromancer because it's my playstyle. I want to have something that is very high impact, and if you can survive on it you will probably win the match. I like that. I think that's a really cool playstyle. And in World vs. World, currently I like to play Revenant a lot. That's my main there. But like I said, it's the spice of Guild Wars 2 is playing different classes, different builds for me. So I always switch and mates. So I'm currently playing Engineer and I enjoy it, even though it's a horrible build to play against. But I'm not Engineer main in that sense. I just play it right now. And I like to play that. Maybe tomorrow I play, I don't know, Revenant again. Maybe I play Mesmer in PvE. There's always something that I will play. That you can see that in my videos as well. When I go for a build guide, I invest time in the new build that I want to promote. And that means that I enjoy this build at the moment. And then I go to the next build and make a build guide about it again. So it's always mix and match, going to something new. That's how I play the game. So I wouldn't have a main, but if you ask for my favorite professions, that would be my answers, yeah. Yeah, if you play Guild Wars 2 and find some nice people, some friends even, that's really good. That's how you do it, yeah. Yeah, maybe you're right, there's no drops. Maybe Asura players secretly enjoy soldiers, bearbow rangers. I mean, it makes sense, you know, that's if the bear is bigger than you can hide behind it. That makes way more sense than if you're a Norn, yeah, or a Char. But I wouldn't recommend playing soldier stats in any game mode. Just putting it out for new players. It was a joke. Don't do that. It's not very good anyway. Yeah, I have to be honest. I think when it comes to class fantasy, you know, if I just think about the class fantasy, I would probably always pick Mesmer because Mesmer is such a unique class. It's when I play a different MMO, if I play a different just RPG, fantasy RPG, Mesmer is always a class that I would choose and never find in another MMO because it's so unique. It doesn't mean it's my favorite playstyle. It's just the fantasy of having something that is so unique. It's what I like. Yeah, that's what I like. But I wouldn't play Mesmer in all game modes. Yeah. Oh, we have people. Maybe we can get some nice 101, 1v2 or something going. Okay, it's not a 2v2, it's a 1v2. That's not something I want, to be honest, but let's see. No, it's also not my god. Okay, CC. Bursting. Getting the outplay. Oh, yes! No. Oh, the Condi Holo. 1v2. Oh, that's how you do it. The 1v2. Easy. This build is so fun. Please don't play it. I don't want to fight it, but it's really fun. At least Soldiers lets you survive Big Nose Ted. Stop promoting this toxic berserker only elitism. You're right to some extent, yeah. I would say if you start out the game, berserker can be a death threat because you don't know what to dodge, you don't know how to play the game, and berserker is just not good for you. But I would not go with Soldiers. I would rather go with Marauder, Demolisher, or something like that. That gives you aggressive stats while giving you a few amount of defensive stats. But I think Soldiers is just by design a stat that you don't want to see. It's never, why would you pick it? It doesn't have any value for any build. It's just like, I think it's really bad in my opinion. Yeah. I saw a guy uploaded a video of him playing Mesmer with Portal in PvP. He did some really insane plays on the enemy team. Yeah, Portal is really interesting. You can do so much stuff with Portal. I can show that actually on stream, for example. You can start, for example, a Portal Storm. You can do some Continuum Shift stuff. You can Portal your team. It's absolutely insane what you can do on Mesmer. But sadly, Portal is a little bit nerfed because previously it had a higher range. And that makes it a little bit worse. And you drop a utility slot. And in this current meta, having one less utility slot is mostly a death sentence if you can't play it. In PvP, you can make it work, but it's often not really the case in a real high-end scenario. Yeah. So that's why it's very fun. You can get some really crazy montage moments with that, but sadly, it's not something that you would, pick all the time. Yeah, sadly. Yeah. So let's drop a portal here and kill the Revenant, and then I can show it to you. And bam. That's a pot stomp, very classic, not very hard to do. This can be really sick just to negate damage, just to negate the knockback or something, but it's not something that is worth dropping a utility slot for the most cases. But it can be really sick also if you portal your team, for example, to the Lord or something. That can be worthwhile. Just saying, sometimes portal is very good. Which build is the best for pure DPS in open world? Oof, what is the best one? Probably, I don't know, some kind of power build. What is a good power build? Probably some kind of maybe power virtuoso, maybe Power Reaper is probably a really good build because you have, probably Power Reaper because you get so much self-quickness and a lot of stability and damage negation while still having a lot of damage. I would probably say Power Reaper is probably the best one. Yeah, that's my recommendation. Yeah, the utility slot, if you lose your utility slot, let's say on Mesmer you always take Blink, then you take another skill that is more aggressive, and then you will typically take another CC, another stun break, maybe stealth. But if you drop that, you only have one stun break. One stun break. It's absolutely insane. So, yeah, just saying. Notice how Simmer specifically targeted the Revenant. He was afraid of getting stumped by the Guardian NPC like Roy did. Yeah, that's what I actually did. I also did not want to fight against the Mesmer or the Elementalist because they can port. So I actually I said the only one that I could kill and destroy with a portal stomp was the Revenant specifically. All the others I was actually afraid of. So typical, that's absolutely true. Very good assessment here. Very good assessment. Are your latest ranking videos relevant after the patch? Yes. There is not a single video with my tier lists that are actually absolutely wrong or incorrect after the patch. I think there might be one adjustment to maybe PvP one, but that's it. All the others, I would say, are not affected at all. Yeah, that's if there will be an adjustment for whatever reason, I will change it. I will make a new guide about it, a new tier list, whatever. I will make a different video about it and tell you about it, but I'm pretty sure that every single tier list is accurate at the moment. Yes. Yeah, but I think Mesmer utility slots are very competitive. There are so many good utilities for Mesmer. Yeah, but that's for almost all classes the case. I think there are only a few handful of exceptions where I would say the utility slots are not that contested in competitive modes, that is. There are some classes, for example, like Elementalist, I mentioned it previously, which has a big problem in PvE in terms of utilities, because the utilities on a DPS Elementalist are really bad. Even on a healer, they are not really good. So on Catalyst, you have this as a DPS, and then you might have, for example, Conjured Lightning Hammer for damage, and maybe you go with Glyph of Storms, and that's it. All the other skills are not really providing a lot of DPS. You can go for some days, you can maybe go for some lesser elemental action, but that's really bad. So if you play DPS in PvE, Elementalist has really bad utilities. If you play support on Elementalist that is not Tempest, you also have really bad utilities. You might have a Glyph, you might have the Frostbow for some CC, and you might have the water thingy here that heals. But all the others are just not good, so Elementalist has by far the worst utilities. It's just not even close. So there are some classes that have it like Elementalist, where you really have just a few utility skills that are really good. But almost all classes, like Mesmer, like Guardian, even like Necromancer, have absolutely insane amount of utility skills that you can mix and match to actually suit your current situation. If you learn that, especially in PvE, where you swap for the raid boss to Spectral Grasp, then you swap to Corrosive Poison Cloud on Necromancer, for example. If you learn that, even on a DPS build, you will improve by so much and help your team without them even noticing it. It's absolutely crazy. So that's something that really, let's say, is different from a beginner and some veteran that mastered a class. It's really, really important. Can you explain how World vs. World ticket farming for legendaries works? A question from YouTube. So in World vs. World, you get tickets whenever you, let's say, get a chest here from this rewards. So whenever you get a tick, I have a video about it as well. Just check it out on my YouTube about World vs. World beginner guide. I have that. But just in short, you get tickets whenever you get those chests for getting pips or getting rewards for staying in the World vs. World matchup. And if you go up, you get up to the maximum rewards from the diamond chest, and then you get 20, and then it's over, even though you can repeat it. But you can get it from, for example, weekly achievements, and you can also get it from the defend events. So there are multiple ways to get those, but it's a very slow progress. So for the legendaries, you need thousands of them, so it takes weeks. Just keep that in mind. It's always the case. Also, the big nose Ted soldiers thing was sarcasm. If that didn't come across, probably your answer was so serious. Yeah, I know. Just wanted to make sure that new players understand that soldiers are not good. But of course, I got that. Big nose Ted, for the people that don't know, is the first boss that you fight in the human storyline at level 10 or something, and he's obviously a joke, but some people in Reddit actually complained that it was too hard. So that's a community meme now, even though it's not that hard, obviously. That's a fact. I mean, the fact, please don't spread it. It's not true. It's not a fact. No one has proof of that. It's not the case. It's not the case. Yeah, and I think with that, I will also end today's stream. So thanks everyone for joining. Hope you had a nice, entertaining evening. I myself, I think I had a very nice evening. Thanks a lot. Be sure to check out my YouTube channel. It's even more important than usual because I will give away really big amount of gold in the YouTube channel. Currently, there's a vote going on for the people if you want to go for a legendary or want to have a 4 times 500 gold giveaway. Be sure to vote if you want to participate in there. Be sure to check it out. You will have high chances of winning. Just be there. And thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for all the follows and the subs. Really appreciate it. And yes, I hope to see you. Yes, I will check the whispers. Don't worry. And I will give you a short feedback. See you around. Thanks a lot. And have a nice day. See you tomorrow. So Sochi, the giveaway is still not up. It will be at 5k subs. The giveaway, I will release a video about it. Don't worry. That's the last thing that I want to add here. See you around.